Jocko, have you ever had a person you couldn't get through to? Someone that you couldn't manipulate? Then what? What do you do when you can't get through?
Well, yeah, of course. I've had people that I could not get through to. And generally speaking, these people are like level 12 arrogance. That's what they are. Giant ego. That's what causes this. There was quite a few SEAL leaders that I dealt with. I shouldn't say quite a few. There were several SEAL leaders that I dealt with that were like that, and of several business leaders that I've dealt with that were like that. In podcast number 5, I read that counseling letter, corrective measures, to a guy that was really arrogant. And despite that letter, he did not change, and he got fired. So what do you do when you got someone that you can't get through to? You fire them. That's and here's what you got to do is what makes that tricky is that some people, and this will make people freak out. There's some people that they're such good performers that even though they're slightly negative on maybe their team participation, but they're so good that it offsets their negativity, right? And that happens. It happens. You know what happens with salespeople?
Yeah.
Salespeople are in order to be in a sales position, you got to be confident, you got to be aggressive, you got to be somewhat arrogant, right? You got to believe in yourself. And so some salespeople take that to the extreme where they're just like, I don't need to listen to what you're telling me the new procedures are. Yeah. Screw that. I'm the one that's doing the big dollars over here. How about you follow my procedures, boys? Right? So that happens. Well, then what you got to do is you got to look, is this guy producing so well? Now, that can create problems within the team, and you have to balance those things. Is this guy, is the negativity that he's creating offset by the awesome productivity that he's doing? And furthermore, if the guy's that good, hey, maybe we should be modeling some things after them. I got no problem with that. If you're the best performer, cool. I want to imitate you. I want to get my people to imitate you. So that happens. The other place where you might see it, a similar situation, is a leader that does really good with the relationships down the chain of command, for instance, but really has bad relations up the chain of command. So again, you got to ask yourself, okay, if I fire this leader, how many of these people that he has great relationships are now going to leave, and what kind of detriment is that to the team? That can also happen with someone that treats their people like crap, but up the chain of command, everyone thinks he's great. And he's getting the mission done, by the way, right? He's a slave driver, and he's creating total animosity between him and his team, but he's accomplishing the mission. So now what do you do? There's a risk. Everyone could quit. There's risk. You could fire him, and now you don't accomplish the mission anymore. This is why leadership is hard, and this is why you have to balance everything. You have to balance those things. But talked about it a bunch of times. If you get someone, you coach them, you mentor them, you do everything you can, you flank them, you do jujitsu, mental jujitsu on them, you try and get them squared away, and eventually, if you can't, you weigh against, how it's going to affect the situation, and then in many cases, you got to let them go.
Alright guys, we really hope you enjoyed this video. We are working relentlessly just to put out the best content for you guys. We would really appreciate your support if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel. It would really mean a lot to us.